Moi everyone and welcome to Finish Your Plate. Sausage is a common food item in Finland, especially knockwurst. A lot of times it's eaten by itself, but many times it can also be used in recipes. So today is a really cold day, so I figured I will make some simple sausage stew for dinner tonight. This is a very quick dinner dish and it's gonna taste great, especially on a cold day. So join me and I'll show you how to make this Finnish sausage stew. I have here, first of all, I got a couple of vegetables. I have a carrot, onion, some garlic, some mushrooms, and I also have this bag of dried mixed bell peppers. You could certainly use fresh ones too, any color, green, red, yellow. But I find that this is a very handy, convenient way to substitute fresh peppers when you don't have them. This tastes very well in the pantry and is great addition in a lot of dishes. I also have some diced tomatoes and some pasta. And of course, I have the sausage. I have this Jagdwurst from Schaller and Weber. Of course, you could use knockwurst. That is a very common sausage to use in Finland in sausage dishes. But since I had this, I figured I'm going to use it. So let's prep our vegetables. All right, so first let's turn on our heat. So let's add our mushrooms to the dry pan. We're gonna just toast them for a little while. We'll add a little salt. All right, now mushrooms have sauteed for a little while. I'm just going to add a little bit of oil in here. And I'm going to take a chunk of the sausage and cut this into kind of like squares, cubes. And this is going in here as well. I'm just going to keep sauteing this for a little while. Just get a little bit of color on them. And this is what Jagdwurst looks like inside. So it's coarsely ground pork sausage. Okay, now we have a little bit of color in the sausage. I'm gonna add my onions. This is I'm just using maybe about a quarter of the onion that I had. It was a pretty big onion. And carrots. Again, that was a big carrot I had, so maybe half of it. And I'll also squeeze in some garlic. And now I'll add my bell peppers. These are dry, so of course at this point it's not going to do much. They're not going to cook much. If you use fresh ones, add them earlier. They have a really nice and aromatic scent to them. Oh, they smell really great. You can also find dried jalapenos, so if you want to try those, add a little heat to the dish. That would work great too. Okay. I'm going to turn down my heat just a little. There you go. Now I'm gonna add my tomatoes. And some water. And I gotta taste it now for salt before I add the pasta. Also seasoning in general. I think it's gonna need a little bit of salt. Yeah, for sure. So let's add some salt. And a little bit of marjoram. You could use oregano too. Now that it's come to a boil, I'm just going to add some chili paste. I have here some harissa paste. For some reason, I feel like there's a lot of Finns that are chili heads who love things really spicy. And sometimes they could go a little overboard with the spice and all, but I think a little heat will work here great. You could use pretty much any shaped pasta, macaroni, cavatappi. I have here some large shells, so they're going in. I'm not going to put a whole ton of them because then it's going to get a little too thick, but still. Pasta is in, all of our ingredients are in. Now we'll just let it cook. If it turns out that you added a little bit too much pasta and it runs dry, by all means, just add more water. Now that it's turned into this thick consistency and the pasta is cooked, it's pretty much done. So I'm just going to let it sit and rest for maybe 5 minutes or so before serving. All right, let's serve ourselves some. And let's hit it with a little bit of cheese on top. Oh, and of course, you have to serve this with some freshly baked rye bread. Here we go. Maybe a little bit of parsley on top. A couple of flakes. And our finished sausage stew is ready. All right, let's taste this. This is what I would definitely call comforting. Yeah, it's a pretty basic dish. Pasta and a tomato sauce, really, and some sausage. Maybe a little pepper. I forgot to add pepper. I forgot to add pepper, but that's all right. It's still pretty good. And, of course, let's have it with some rye bread. So normally, I'm not a fan of carbs on carbs bread with pasta, pasta on pizza, or things like that. But in this case, I think the rye bread goes pretty well. It adds a little bit of fiber, a little bit of texture to it too, and it'll fill you up even more. So it'll be definitely great addition to any dish. So if you want to make rye bread, check out, I have a couple different rye videos on my channel. I'll put a link to them at the end screen so you can check those out. Make some rye bread, sourdough rye bread yourself, and then go ahead and make this pasta casserole or stew, or pata as Finns call it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Finish Your Plate.